Hello. Well, happy Thursday. Happy hour on Happy Thursday, where we get together and we get down and dirty. Yes, we do. Having some fun, trying not to get into too much trouble. Put that over there. Trying to balance it while at the same time give you guys enough lighting. Whoa. How's everybody doing? How is everybody? Let me check in on you all and see how you are. People feeling optimistic. The Mother Goose shop in Portland is closing. Oh, a lot of stuff is closing in Portland. Yes, unfortunately. We have a bit of a problem, as does much of the country, with fentanyl. Fentanyl is an interesting conversation we could have because it's coming in from Mexico, but the ingredients to make fentanyl are coming from labs in China. So you could argue, we could discuss whether or not this is a modern form of an opium war, where they're producing this unbelievably powerful synthetic opioid that's several times stronger than black tar heroin. And that has led to a lot of tension between the United States and China, asking them to shut down labs making precursors to fentanyl. So it's an interesting thing. We can certainly talk about it. Welcome to you all. If you haven't had a chance to like yet, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff, it would be great if you could. It helps the channel. My name is Whimsy. I'm the hostess with the mostest. We're here to have a couple drinks, have some fun, talk politics, talk celebrity, and get your opinions about everything. Do a little tarot card reading if you like, do some blitzes, whatever brings you joy. Well, the first thing I want to do is I want to give a shout out of gratitude to those of you who have decided to become members of the channel. The money goes to support the channel. It is my plan B. And let's face facts, there really is no other plan for my retirement other than YouTube. YouTube is a great for people who are looking at retirement. Let me tell you that. Anyway, gratitudes to the following people for being a member, for being members of the channel. Lisa R. Dun, 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 dun. The amazing Lisa R is a benefactor. That means that she pledges, I think it's $99 a month. You get a free session with me once a month, consultation, in addition to all the other benefits. So she is one of our 5 benefactors. We're very grateful to her. Carol Mitchell, also welcome to Fairies and Angels. MJ420, welcome to Fairies and Angels. She signed up. And L, welcome to Fairies and Angels. Glad to see you all there. If you're interested in taking some of the classes we offer, Wednesdays we're teaching, the healers and empaths are getting together and we're teaching remote viewing. If you'd like to get feedback or a review of the class from any of the people that are taking the class right now, I'm sure they'd love to talk to you about what it's like to learn how to become a remote viewer. We keep the prices dirt cheap. It's $9.99 a month while we develop the course. So hopefully we'll see you there. Okay, the only request, if you do decide to participate today, is we ask that you be kind. It's the only rule we have on my channel. Be kind to people. Treat others the way that you would want to be treated. No derogatory statements against people, whether they're Republicans or Democrats. We just want to be kind to all and have all be kind to us. I'm going to go ahead and open the floor. If there's anything that you folks want to talk about, tell me where you're coming from, what you're eating, what you're drinking, what's the weather like, any political things you want to talk about today. Like I said, I'm here in Portland, Oregon. I can be with you for an hour, hour and a half, and we can talk about whatever you like. I do know that, thank you, Mark Rhodes, who sent me the recent YouTube video from The Hill about the Black Book being released. It looks like Epstein's Black Book was released, and that's interesting news. A lot of names, I guess, that we already knew, but there were a couple of surprises. We can certainly talk about that, what it all means to be part of his Black Book. Ooh, Aggravated Progressive is having some nice ribs. You're in Texas. Where are you, Aggravated Progressive? Are you in Arizona? Stephanie is in Albania. Yes, y'all know that there's been some growing tensions between Serbia and Croatia. That's been interesting. Yeah. All right, Kathleen L. She has something she wants to talk about. She says the Oregon Senate Republican walkout, it could affect whether we get federal funds in healthcare bills. How will the stalemate end? Interesting question. I think what we can do right now is we'll go ahead, we'll do the Empath prayer. And then after we do the Empath prayer, if people want to give me the order, we can go ahead and blitz away. Does anybody have any announcements or anything they need to mention before we get started? Hi, my Michelle. Thank you for being a member. I'm having my coffee. Ooh, Felicia's having shrimp. Anybody ever had shrimp and grits together? Is that good? I've heard of it. Sounds delicious. Thank you. I'm wearing a scarf on top of my head in honor of Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yes. I was playing with these and I thought, I'm looking a little bit like I got that Midwest Southern thing going on with this scarf on my head. Marjorie Taylor Greene is another one. Oh my goodness. I went into a remote on Tuesday about the vote, and somebody asked me to be Marjorie Taylor Greene, which is not a problem for me. I am a professional empath. So I went in and I became Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I heard myself say to Kevin McCarthy, I will follow you. I trust you, Kevin. I will do whatever. So evidently now she is being called a rhino. The MAGAs have turned on Marjorie Taylor Greene. What do you think? Shocking, isn't it? I know. I knew something like that was going to go down when I went in and I heard myself saying stuff like that. I thought, oh, she's gonna be there. She's gonna be in some trouble after this thing. Oh, hi, Kay. Good to see you. All right, let's do the Empath prayer. And then I will blitz away when I get the order. All right, I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys, to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, we say, Amen. Oh, yes, I got a blitz order, right? I did get a blitz order. Kathleen said blitz. Blitz. Oh, I'm getting it. All right, so first question is coming here from Catherine L. Evidently, we've got a walkout in the Oregon Senate. The Republicans are having a pishy fit. So let's see how this is going to, if we're going to be able to pass laws in Oregon. Well, we have a fentanyl crisis here, just like it's a fentanyl crisis all over the United States. And we've got, where are all these people coming from? They're being shipped from, in many cases, red states. And then we have to absorb the medical cost of trying to help these people, but also housing, etc. Because drug addiction is a medical condition and it needs to be treated like a medical condition. So basically, it's a game of shipping your medical problem to another state. And so then when we try to clean it up by offering housing, et cetera, the Republicans, who are the people that are driving the problem, see, that becomes the problem in and of itself, right? A lot of these folks are not from Oregon. The money will be there. Ace of Pentacles, the large coin. Oh, it'll pass because it was passed federally, so the money is there. So fentanyl treatment is part of the bill, evidently. Looks like fentanyl will be. See money coming into the state. They will, the state gets it, and then you can see the other in relation walks away. So the Republicans are only harming themselves, and they'll be called back into session, and there's nothing to fight about because the money came in from the feds. You can see the gift of the large money coming in to cover the cost. The opposition walking away from the battle they cannot win. The hopes and fears, the law, right? The keeper of the law. And then justice is served and she moves on. So they're not going to win. And since the money was already made, the funds are already being made available to the feds. Look, if they're going to ship a problem here, like the homeless issue or immigration, then those states should have more benefits federally to deal with the issue. And that appears to be what's happening. We can also see going forward that the money is going to go towards housing. So you have the money coming in, housing. There's no reason a country as rich as ours shouldn't have the same policy as they have in Singapore and Tokyo, where people have vouchers and affordable housing solutions for people and the money coming in for it. One of the most important things we can do right now is to make sure Americans are housed, affordable housing. And it really comes up as a major issue. So no, Kathleen, I wouldn't lose sleep over it. It's a temper tantrum that goes nowhere. And truth be told, other Republicans are probably telling them to cut it out because it's not making them more popular in Oregon. Not even close. The Wagner group. Interesting, some of the stuff that's going on. As you guys know, the opposition, there are a large percentage of Russians that have defected and joined the Ukrainian side. Is anyone aware of that? Both as partisans. For example, the Russians are now being attacked not by Ukraine, they're being attacked by Russians who support Ukraine. So there are two main partisan factions that I'm familiar with that are attacking Russian targets in Ukraine. But now, as many of you know, Russia is being attacked. So the concern here is also that civilian targets are being attacked. I think there could be a military connection because, and I would invite other remote viewers to go into the remote state and check to go backwards and see where you came from and what was the intent of the person that sent the drones. Maybe we can talk about it next Wednesday. I felt I was coming from the southeast of the city, and if you're going to the warehouse, the waters, etc., that area has military control. So that had me baffled. It's who are these people? It's like a fifth column, similar to what happened to us in the United States, only now what I feared was going to happen in the United States is now happening to the Russian people. This faction from within their government that's trying to destroy their government. Wagner's having a hard time competing with other soldiers of fortune because Wagner charges too much. And this is based on the information we got from Vladimir Putin. He felt he could get cheaper fighters out of Africa, and that there were other companies that were cheaper than Wagner, and that's what happened. Wagner is not the only for-hire army in Ukraine or in Africa. And the reason why Putin soured on Wagner was because he was the one that had pushed this campaign, because what they're calling a campaign, the war, the invasion. But when I put myself in Putin's shoes, I felt like, to an extent, I was blaming him for a lot of the disasters. And I was going to stiff him. I was going to financially stiff him and not pay him. And that's sure enough what Prigozhin said. Is he got stiffed. He didn't get the reward that he thought he was going to get for taking Bakhmut. So there's a tension happening now. Now, some people think the head of Wagner is going to try and become the new leader of Russia. I don't think it would ever happen in a million years, because Russian leadership hates him. And so he has next to no support in Russia. But let's see about the future of Wagner. They don't seem to be able to compete with other groups. That's why economically, they're just not a good deal for the money. You know, you could, maybe he's too greedy. He charges too much for his services. And maybe an African company that supplies soldiers that charges half as much that's where Putin is going. They're going to go with the cheapest armies they can get because they're broke. Putin presents as an inverted Queen of Wands. So it's ego, right? We think about Queen of Wands. It has a virtuous side, but every archetype has a virtuous side and a not so virtuous side. And the Queen of Wands is territorial. My way, boom, boom. My way, boom, boom. My way or the highway, right? She carries the staff of authority. However, in his case, it presented as an invert, which is almost like a psychopathy, running around and smacking everybody. It's that desperate person who doesn't know who to blame. And so they're running around blaming everybody. And part of it has to do with the fact that people are looking under the hood of Putin's regime. And the bottom line is that people feel he is a bad investment. That's the bottom line. Putin is a bad investment. Same is true for the Wagner Group. They're a bad investment. So you have this kind of oversight happening, and that includes anybody who would be responsible for the budget in Russia. You know, their own treasury people, their own, what's it called, the Duma? Their own people are they must know the financial consequences of this, because you've got this investigation going on over Wagner, over the military. No, Wagner, one of the things that Wagner said is that they could dissolve, they could end. And one of the reasons is because they are not paid and they can't get more contracts, because look, you could pay Wagner, which screwed up, wasted a ton of weapons that got stolen, etc., had high casualties and charges $1,000, or you can go with this group that's been fighting in rough terrain that's charging $250. So it becomes just an issue of money as the economic choices dwindle for Russia. This is why I pretty much felt that the war was over, because I don't think people realize just how well manned now the Ukrainian army is. And it looks like Turkey is no longer in opposition to them becoming part of NATO. Sweden now, it's coming out, was secretly helping more than was publicly known. That was something we talked to you about. We did remotes on Sweden, and now it's coming out that there were covert operations, that their Air Force, that's starting to come out. I think that Putin is going to have to give up these aspirations in Africa and abroad because the worst case scenario has happened. And the worst case scenario is that the Russian people have declared war on Russia. So we have this inverted, angry, emotionally frustrated individual, but we've got the Five of Swords here for Putin. This guy is going to have to leave this war, walk away from a battle he cannot win. In terms of his opposition, big problems lay ahead. First off, they're looking under his hood. So if this guy wants to do business with people, they've seen the fact that it's a kleptocracy. You don't pay your people, you stiff your people. You don't want people looking up under the hood for your business. Also, his opposition is armed to the max. The treasure trove that ever overflows is his opposition, and he's in a position where he has to walk away from a war he cannot win. His hopes and fears, his military, the military, and corruption over his military. He's the one that created the corruption over his military. He fears incarceration and being cornered. He's on the verge of surrender peace, the white flag, King of Cups. What's the problem with that? Up to this point, he wanted to negotiate. What was the problem? He wanted to negotiate pieces of Ukraine, right? So what did Zelensky say when he wanted to sit down and negotiate with China? Anybody remember? China wanted a piece of the pie, right? China wants a piece of the pie. They want to help rebuild. They want the contracts because Bakhmut has to be rebuilt. All these places have to be rebuilt. And so obviously China, hey, we're your infrastructure people. We have a vested interest in seeing the war end because of the economic hit that China is taking. And this war is, they lost a lot of trade. Their interdependence on certain things really screwed their trade up. So China is kind of like between a rock and a hard place. Also, they're trying to negotiate new trade routes out of Africa when they're being blocked by Saudi Arabia. So that we're looking at that. But the takeaway here is that Putin doesn't have the money to maintain the war. So if you're looking at what China was trying to do, it's, well, let's have a ceasefire now, which means they'll take the existing lands that they're occupying, and that was why Zelensky didn't take the deal. Zelensky is not going to settle for anything other than them leaving Crimea. And given how well armed they are right now, if we were asked to give them 100 times what they 100% of what they need to take Crimea, we gave them 100 times more than that. They're extremely well armed. And so you have, on the one hand, you have these extremely well armed, basically you're going up against NATO, fresh, armed, ready to go. They've been relaxing. They have not been working hard to defend the way that they could have because they pulled a lot of their troops back. So now what's happened is pretty much the end, I think. I mean, they don't have the economic wherewithal to keep this up. That's kind of how I think of it. Yeah, I just wanted to arrange my cards while I was. Okay, so yeah. So what did I say? 1 to 2 months before it would look. So we're now a couple weeks into it. So yeah. There could be skirmishes that continue on and on and on, but what are you going to do when your own countrymen are invading your country and attacking? And they said there was nobody at the border watching the border. They just walked right in. Yeah, so you have Ukraine and Russian opposition forces fighting together to oust Putin, but the Ukrainians are saying that they had nothing to do with the attacks that were taking place in Bakhmut. So it's not like they're being invaded by a foreigner. They're not being invaded they're being invaded by their own countrymen. And then you also have soldiers that defected from Wagner and join the Ukrainians. And that's pretty crazy. You heard about that? They're testing they're giving lie detector tests, and if it comes out that the people really don't want to be part of Wagner, they're like, you want to join us? Okay. And so they're getting fighters out of the deal. All right, let's keep going. Question coming from the beautiful Kathleen O'Malley. All right. The release of Trump tape. Wow, what do you guys think of this Trump tape? Is anyone surprised? No. Pretty big deal, though, right? But he's a decoy, right? This isn't even the main. He doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. He didn't cause America's democracy to be on thin ice. He's just the poster child. The people that cause democracy to be on thin ice are the Heritage Foundation, certain media people. Let's take a look. Jack Smith. I think that we're gonna know everything. I mean, it's very sad, but he was caught attempting to sell the tapes to foreign business people and political people. It was it's not just that he was caught moving the tapes. It's worse than that. They're saying here that Jack Smith has proof that he did it with an intent to make profits. He was caught an attempt at a sale. This has come up before. He didn't just take it for his ego. It was money. He wanted to sell information. The guy's a spy. Sold to other spies. Where he is at right now. Do you think that Trump is even conscious of the damage he does? I mean, when you're dealing with this kind of mental health issues, he was broke. He's always broke. He's always broke. Look at that, the poverty card. Jack Smith's probably going to prosecute. I always get that 30-day, but I think it's going to be sooner. Overseas deals. Mental illness. Can he get off on mental illness? Oh, it might be tomorrow. Yeah, the Heritage Foundation going after, I mean, yeah, like you don't have better things to do with your time than go after Prince Harry because he admitted to eating some chocolates that had mushrooms in them. What does that tell you about the agenda of the Heritage Foundation? I mean, and also the Federalist Society is another one. Very scary. So you have, these are Jack's cards. He has Ace of Pentacles regarding the questions of the tapes, regarding the stuff that he was moving. Also Three of Wands, which is an overseas card. It's a good luck card for Jack Smith. Trump is in serious trouble. He's got the tower right over him. The courts are in a position of power. There's rejoicing. He fears poverty. And his final outcome for Jack is Ace of Wands. That's also a Cojones card. over the clarification final outcome for Trump. Confusion. Mental illness. I don't know. It's not like it isn't true. Yeah, and also mushrooms are not, I don't think it's even illegal in California, is it? So, I mean, if they're legal to purchase in Oakland, so if they purchase them in Oakland, they didn't break the law, so it's kind of it's a stupid conversation. It's not illegal to purchase them. So it's just a waste of time for no other purpose than to harass him because he's a liberal. They may not approve of the fact that you can buy that stuff in California, but it's not their state, it's not their call, right? I mean, they're the ones that talk about limited government, right? Okay, so that's one of the more bizarre things, right? Yeah, Prince Harry and the Heritage Foundation. We can take a look at that. It's bizarre, but these are the same people that are connected with Ginny Thomas and January 6th, and they were the ones that gave her the money. Remember when I did a remote view? She said, "I can get the money to get the protest buses." It came from the Heritage. It came from her connections, and that money, some of it potentially is going to be traced overseas. Let's take a look. The future of Prince Harry with the Heritage Foundation. Harry's going to win. The Heritage Foundation is actually facing their own lawsuits. However, Harry faces further harassment. He's very strong. Heritage Foundation is weakening and possibly facing legal action. Here's Harry's card, strong and an ace of swords. He'll win against his opposition. Heritage Foundation, poverty. They get their wish means that if their wish is to create problems for him, they succeed. Look, he's got an exam. That kind of looks like Harry, doesn't it? It takes an economic toll on Harry. All of the security, everything it takes a toll on his mental health, temperance, and his pocketbook. Heartbreak. They make his life hell. The sun is coming up. I think he should be able to legally protect himself from this type of harassment, and it looks like Harry will win. But it's a form of harassment. Okay. Yes, the taxes, the IRS. Remember what? Oh, hi, 1111. Good to see you here. Remember when we had gone into the remote and you guys had asked me to go in to be Kevin McCarthy? Is that right? And I felt other people with me when I went in the room. I felt the pressure of the MAGA. And the thing that they kept talking about was surveillance and being, what did they say? Retaliatory audits by the IRS. Whew. Harry, as a multimillionaire, money for security is a sham. Well, you could read Spare. It's millions and millions and millions of dollars for security. He has to have 2 bodyguards at all time. He has to have high security because people break onto the lawn. The helicopters. They can't even get into a car like regular people. It's a huge song and dance. She couldn't visit her father when she tried to get to the hospital because he was in a small town in California, and the paparazzi, there was no physical way for her to physically get to the hospital. She could have, but particularly if she had flown in a commercial flight, it would have been impossible. She physically couldn't get there. So it cost millions. The security is costing, they're literally going broke just from the security alone. He's not a multimillionaire. Is he becoming a multimillionaire? Eventually, maybe from the sale of his book. His book did really great. All right, next question from Joel Tilson. Charles protecting Meghan and Harry. Let's take a look. I hope so. I like Charles. He's doing a good job. A protective order would be nice. Yeah. It's like, why would you? He shouldn't have written that book, you know? He reminds me of me. I'm like that. Tell the truth. Tell everybody the truth. Oh, you bet. But they're going to be caught if you do that. He inherited 30 million pounds. Yeah, they probably blew through that the first year in security. 30 million pounds. That's pretty good, though. His influence is outside the power of the monarchy. So I think it's really a feeling that they have no control over what he does. And he's pretty much on his own. He's the most independent of the kids. You can see here, rejection of an offer, 4 of Cups. Paranoia, 9 of Wands, the devil. They don't like who he's keeping company with. Well, they feel trapped. I mean, if I were... Will you put yourself in the shoes of Catherine? I mean, that poor woman works herself half to death, and she's got all those kids to raise. I mean, I could see her being resentful. Now we're stuck here doing all this work. Grow up. I mean, it's palpable resentment, right? Heartbreak. The day will come when he'll be able to go back to Britain. Maybe 10 years from now, it'll be water under the bridge. Nobody will care. It'll be a new world. But for now, no. 3 of Wands is about returning back. It'll happen. Another day in time. This too shall pass. Just not yet. People will move on to new things, The next generation, as they say. Okay. That would be an income of 1.5 million. Nice. Ooh, they should move to Wyoming. That's a good idea. Spare, in the beginning, I thought Spare was kind of slow, but it gets better. I liked I thought the love story was very sweet. Usually, from what we were able to find out, just as remote viewers, is that once the investigation, once they're done with a piece of evidence, they will sometimes leak it so that people know what's going on. But the news is usually 6 months old. And the only reason we know that is because I used to get into the documents a lot, and then I would release the information that I found, and then the feds would dump the document like 3 months later. So they had access to the documents for a really long time, and then once they feel it's safe to do so, they will coordinate the release of a document that it's no longer relevant to the investigation. Yeah. Boebert and her husband are in trouble for child abuse. Is anybody surprised by that? All right, let's see about Boebert being in trouble and abusing her child. No surprise there. Boebert's future. She is facing some kind of legal charge. One of the kids called 911. Was this recent? She could be charged with something. Right now, she presents as in the clouds, confused. Oh wow. The other has power against her regarding a family. Remember, Ten of Pentacles is the family legacy. It has a good side and has a dark side. Dirty family secrets, right? Ten of Pentacles, the negative aspect can be a family, child abuse, incest, etc. Those fall into the category of negative aspects of Ten of Pentacles, what we inherit, both the good and the bad. So it's an issue of a family secret or family dynamic that she faces potential. This is a threat of incarceration when somebody is defensive. So I don't know. Aren't they getting a divorce? There's an issue here of theft, accusation that her husband attempted to flee and take things that he stole from her. Boebert was involved in January 6th? Probably, yes. I think there is evidence she was involved. She's insane. But there's something here about her husband associated with an attempt at a theft or something. And are they getting a divorce? I don't think they're together anymore. Are they? Maybe that's why they're getting a divorce. But I see them separating and her accusing him of stealing stuff from the house. What lovely people. Are they already divorced? Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised she got reelected because I don't know. Oh, they are getting a divorce. So that's probably one of the things that added to it. Oh, she has a boy toy? Well, good for her. Her husband exposed himself to people. What? That's just. That sounds like the people that get in. For those of you who are not Americans, these are the kind of people that get involved in American politics. Yes. I do not regret not having kids. It just sounds like very stressful. I don't. I. Is there any upside to having kids? That's what I'd like to know. Like, I have a lot of friends who are really good people, and their kids hate them. I'm like, well, that's not fair. My friends are good people, so it's like you can't win. Even if you're a good person, your kids hate you. I don't like those odds. I don't think I would want to sign up for that. It seems kind of thankless. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's what I'm thinking. So Joel Tilson is mentioning what's going on with the UN peacekeepers being trying to keep peace between Kosovo and Serbia. Does anybody know what caused it to flare up again? Why it happened? Any theories? All right, let's see what's going on with Kosovo and Serbia. There's an accusation again. So, some resource, an accusation of theft of a resource. So, if there are peacekeeping keepers there, it's to make sure that no one steals or takes advantage of certain resources. There's heartbreak here. Peace issues, issues of strength. But you see here, there's a poverty card. I think there could be economic hardship affecting the area because of the war. It's having an effect downstream. Also, what's going on in Ukraine? It's having an effect on the whole area. There's an attempt here, a peace deal between these two sides, and the situation will be calmed within the next couple of weeks. It had to do with corruption, and there were economic reasons. We can see a desire for peace here and to leave the war behind. Issues again, defensiveness over some corruption, economic corruption that was taking place. Okay, so we have another question about Kathy. Oh, hi, Kathy. Good to see you. Kathy Reagan wants to know about is there unrest everywhere? What's with all this unrest? Stop with the unrest. Got you all nice and close. Hi, Terry Brown. Good to see you. All right. Haiti. Potential for great wealth in Haiti. It shows that Haiti actually has the potential to become financially stable. There's also new real estate happening for Haiti and more funding coming in for Haiti. Wealth over Haiti. Strong religious support. Soberness. New real estate opportunities. Could be people investing. Yeah, they're going to start, and their economy is starting to become much better. And part of it has to do with huge investments in new real estate opportunities for Haiti. Yeah, you can see here over real estate. It's really going to pull them out. Like multi-million-dollar investments in real estate. Good for them. I wonder how they're going to protect against global warming. But yeah, they've got money coming in, investments, and new housing investments. That's great. Oh, you guys have children that love you. Good for you. That's the way it's supposed to be. You know, it should not be. Our children should get along with us. That is definitely how it should be. All right, let's see what we got here. Hi, Janine T. Hi, Joan Krieger. Oh, you love my shows. Thank you. What is going on with DeSantis? Don't you feel like people are kind of tired of Ron DeSantis? Do you feel like he has lost a lot of the support that he had? What do you think? I don't know. think it could be a problem. Ron DeSantis. Grief. This guy's living in a dream world if he thinks the average American is going to vote his way. He runs out of money for his campaign. Grief. Look at his outcome, 4 of Pentacles. People have soured on him. His behavior is too crazy. I don't know. I think he gets into trouble because of this. There's some investigation into his activities. Here again, poverty. No, he loses. No future. He lost his support because of his crazy, his behavior. His behavior was too erratic. The whole going to war with Disney characters. I mean, he lost his bloody marbles. I want to check out the student debt crisis. I am not happy about the fact that I've got like $1,000 bill coming up once a month now. Dang. I'm going to have to do more readings. Let's take a look. There goes the vacations. I look younger. Oh, I like that. Thank you very much. Yeah, 300 likes. That's right, Kathleen. All right. Student loan debts, please. I only owe $360,000 in student loan debt. That's not a problem, is it? Well, they can't. Can they chase you in death? I don't think they can, right? They say that we have enough, that the federal government can forgive the debt. It's not a problem. It's manufactured debt anyway. We don't really owe that debt. They just invented the debt. They just invented the compounding interest. They just invented how much they charge. It's all manufactured. Nobody borrowed that much money. The amount we borrow, is getting paid back and then some. Taxes. A college graduate brings in a lot of taxes that a diner waiter doesn't. So that's why a lot of people feel it's double dipping, right? Because if you pay to educate somebody, you get your money back in taxes. But we're okay as a country. 9 of Pentacles, sitting in that wealth. This is what civilized countries do, right? They give you a free, quote unquote, free college education, and then you pay an extra 3% or what of taxes until you pay it off. That's what normal societies would do, right? There's Biden coming in. Hopes and fears that people will be strangled hold by the debt. Here's the forgiveness. We will have it be forgiven. It's called progress. Yes, it will happen. All right, everyone. Did you have fun? Did you have a rollicking good time? Was a good time had by all? Oh, they're saying that the passing of the debt ceiling is a success for the GOP. I find that hysterically funny. That's funny. That's funny. I really like our president. I think Biden knows what he's doing. I think that based on what I'm seeing here, the student debt crisis is going to be dealt with separately, which is why the president wasn't concerned. It's going to be part of another series of deals, but it will happen. Love and light to you all. I had a blast. What is today? Thursday. Yes, today is Thursday. Awesome. So tomorrow I will not be here. I will try and start putting up some more 5-minute. I know a lot of you like to see me in trance, y'all. No lipstick. Don't ask me to put on makeup when I'm unconscious. Okay. But yes, because people have requested that I go back to doing the trance work, I will. But be nice. Some of you have told me I don't look so great when I'm asleep. But I will do my best. Hi, Tony Salvador. Great to see you. Haven't seen you around in a while. Thank you, Debbie Brady, for your help today. Thank you, Joel Tilson. Thank you for being a member, Donald Lampert, Aggravated Progressive. Great to see you here. Trying to get in for a reading. Please find the information below. I pick up the phone and I call you if you want to book a phone reading with me, or a pre-taped Wizio. It's another option. If you need to see me as a medical medium and as a naturopathic doctor, that option is also made available to you, and the information is below the video. Please take care of yourselves. If you're going to be going to Pride this weekend, please keep yourself safe. Don't go off with people you don't know. Stay together in a group. Protect one another, love one another, and all that other stuff. All right? Don't make me have to babysit you during Pride. I've done that before. It's not that it's. Do you want an old Jewish lady following you around Pride? Of course you don't. No, you don't. All right. Be well, everyone. We'll see you next time.